calling all Robbie Johnsons. Calling all Robbie Johnsons. In a world where everyone's named Robbie Johnson, only one Robbie took the stand to change his name. Robbie Johnson is Robbie Johnson, the movie.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. Kyle, how are you?
I'm doing great, Robbie. I'm still pretty full from Thanksgiving, not gonna lie.
Yeah, Thanksgiving was a week ago. I think we're both still getting over all the food that was consumed.
I'm sure I've talked to people that still have leftovers now because it's still a lot of food.
Yeah. You definitely... You're right. There's definitely a lot of food on Thanksgiving. And
I mean, basically, if you spend 2 to 3 days cooking it, then you're gonna get a lot in return. So
yep,
yeah, it's gonna last you about at least a week or so of meals. So.
And speaking of Thanksgiving, if you watched our last episode, we talked about some of the bigger high school football rivalries around the state. On Thanksgiving Day, and one of those is one that we are very familiar with, the Wellesley versus Needham epic rivalry that this year had its 130th installment over at Wellesley's Honeywell Field, a home game for us, which was really nice, and Kyle and I both were at the contest on Thanksgiving Day.
Although I was a bit late. When I will admit,
you were still there. You were still there.
But I was there. Even the first half of the game, I was there in spirit.
Yeah. And Wellesley, for the second year in a row, got a victory over their arch rivals, the Rockets, winning 23-20 to extend their overall series lead to 62-59 with 9 ties, and won for 2 years in a row for the first time since 2005 and 2006. So It's been like over a decade since Wellesley's won 2 in a row. And so it was very, very exciting to see. And so, Kyle, I want to start with you. Just sort of your overall impressions of the game that was played a week ago today.
It was a great game. The only thing I regret is honestly not getting there earlier. That's one thing I'm gonna correct next year when I go back. I would have liked to actually see the entire game. But no, overall, like everyone, I can tell both teams really played their hardest. They both really wanted the win. You could tell. It's not, sometimes how in football it can be one team kind of, anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry, I had a long day. No, it was just a really well done game. Yeah.
Certainly, and so just a quick little recap synopsis. Needham actually scored first. They scored a touchdown on their opening drive. Then Wellesley blocked the PAT and returned it to the end zone for 2 points, making it 6-2. Then Wellesley had an interception that they returned for a touchdown, making it 8-6.
Wellesley had a lot of interceptions that game, didn't
4
they?
4 interceptions in the game,
good.
which was very impressive. Needham had a bit of a hard time holding on to the football. 5 turnovers in total for the Rockets. So, but yeah, it was 8-6. Then Wellesley scored another touchdown, making it 15-6. And then Needham scored a touchdown just before halftime to make it 15-13.
Yeah, that's when I got there.
Heading into the half, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then the second half, let me see if I can remember. So, in the second half, Needham scored a touchdown to go back in the lead 20-15. And then Wellesley also scored a touchdown and they got the 2-point conversion in the fourth quarter to make it 23-20, and that's how the game ended. And Kyle, let's just talk about the end of that game, because it was a pretty wild finish. You had Wellesley thought the game was over, and then instead they called a penalty on Wellesley, so they got a last play. It was definitely some high drama there at the end.
That was surprising. I'll be honest. When I was there with our friend Scott, who actually was on the
show
before,
a couple times.
We watched.
Shout out Scott.
Yeah, Scott, all the way from DC.
Yeah.
Or all the way to DC, actually.
Yeah.
But
same thing.
Yeah. We were looking at each other at the end of the game, and we thought the game was over too, because the clock was literally at 0. And we were like, "Wait, what? Why are the refs? Why is everyone on the field? Like the refs are going crazy." They're like, and then that's when we kind of heard what happened, and we were saying, "Oh, okay." So we kind of I think I remember either you or someone else.
It was. I think what happened was, for those of you who weren't there, so Needham tried to run a play at the very end and just barely got the snap off before the clock hit 0. But Wellesley thought the clock had already hit 0, so they came out on the field and started celebrating. So the referees called an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Wellesley, and by rule, the game cannot end on a penalty. So Needham had one untimed down, which they threw a completed pass and then threw a couple of laterals and then got tackled. And yeah, it would have been wild if Needham actually scored a touchdown on that play. That would have been like the biggest controversy to like ever hit that rivalry.
That would have been nuts. Oh my god.
But yeah, let's just talk about quickly here, because we were touching on a little bit a moment ago, the Wellesley defense and just how well they played. The key moments of that game, because like I said, 5 turnovers, including 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
Usually when you turn the ball over 5 times, you're not going to win the football game. And Wellesley defense played very well on Thursday, Kyle.
They were on top of it. They were like all over the place. I mean, they were there.
They were there. They were physically there.
They were actually.
And I do have to give a shout out to Wellesley's quarterback, who was actually not their regular starting quarterback. The regular starting quarterback, senior Jack Tishman, actually got hurt leading up to the game, so he actually missed the game. So it was actually a sophomore who played quarterback for Wellesley. Yeah, it was a sophomore that played quarterback.
Wow.
For Matt Mayona, sophomore, getting his first varsity start in the Thanksgiving game. Actually played pretty well for himself. Had some good throws, threw a touchdown pass, and looked pretty good. So good job, Matt.
Nice.
Congratulations on your win.
Sophomore. Okay.
And congratulations to the seniors as well. I mean, obviously, 2 wins in a row to cap off their careers against Needham is always a good way to go out when you beat Needham in your last game. So let's talk about the last thing I sort of want to touch on here is the crowd for that game. I mean, the crowd was, because you literally had. I mean, it's like this for a lot of the Wellesley and Needham games, but especially since the weather was so nice and it was in Wellesley and all those different things. Literally, both sides of the stands were completely full, and like all around the field, like around like the outline of the field, there was just completely full of people, which was really, really cool to see. It's sort of typical Wellesley Needham, packed house, really, really fun atmosphere.
Yeah, I think a lot of people also, they really want to see that new field.
Yeah. I was going to get ready to say first.
Oh yeah.
First Thanksgiving game played at the new Wellesley High School turf field, which is also really cool as well.
It was a beautiful field. I really liked it, and this is coming from a guy who played on the traditional grass field, which was also nice. I love it. Classic football grass and everything. But,
just not when it rains.
Oh yeah, no. Except when you do mudslide. Mudslide's fun. Football players will get that reference. But it was kind of nice just seeing this like Honeywell field, but just kind of redone. They redid a few things. I feel like they kind of redid the outside of it too, didn't they?
Yeah, so they widened the track.
Yeah, the track looks so nice.
Yeah.
That'll be another episode.
Yeah, they widened the track, obviously turfed the football field,
Yep.
put in a new scoreboard, which is really nice as well, new digital scoreboard, and also added in some other architectural type things to the outside of the field. No, it came out really well, which is great, because Wellesley's needed a turf field for a long, long time. That grass field, was while it was playable, it certainly, compared to the other fields around the area, it definitely was in need of a big time improvement. Yeah. So, very happy that last fall they were finally able to put that in, and now the teams are all getting to utilize it, and it's just been really, really good. And you gotta feel good for Coach Jesse Davis, obviously. A player in the rivalry and an assistant coach, and now for the last 6 years, a head coach of Wellesley football. And just quick side note, since Coach Jesse Davis took over, Wellesley football has not had a losing record to end the season. They have finished 500 or better every season under Coach Davis, which is pretty good.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty good for a head coach. And I know you played under Coach Davis when he was the line coach. So.
Well, fun fact, I actually
and also track.
And also so I had Coach Davis as my line coach at the time, and he was, because this was after former line coach Ruben left. He went to another school, and when Davis came in, and he was
Davis was coaching even when Ruben was there. Because Davis came in our freshman year.
Oh, maybe he was.
Davis and Ruben coached. Davis was coaching from our freshman year on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe it wasn't. Was he coaching? Wait, what am I?
Varsity, yeah.
Oh, I guess he. Oh, hey, I think he was. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just remember. But
no, you're right. He took over as
the lead
line coach our senior year when Coach Ruben left. Yeah, correct.
So that was that was nice, and also nice having him as a throwing coach for 1 year. That was pretty fun,
Yeah,
had our good outdoor track moments, just it's good sport. I love outdoor track. But anyways, that's every time we go into track, I always want to talk. But we're talking about football, so
that's all right. So anything else you want to any closing thoughts on the game? Anything you want to say?
I mean, said pretty much all I need to say. It was just. I always like watching those really close games. I always think it's way more fun, as opposed to when you see one of the teams dominating. It's okay, you kind of predict the outcome, but this game was nice because you never knew what was going to happen. That's always my favorite thing when I watch football. But yeah. So.
Congratulations to Wellesley again, and especially to the seniors, and hopefully next year they can make it 3 years in a row when they play over Needham next Thanksgiving. So we'll have to wait and see on that. So now we're going to wrap up this episode. Always, we close out with our monologues, and I actually have a pretty good one, so I'm going to start if that's okay with you. Okay. So, I feel like with sports, there's always... you think you've seen it all, and then something else comes up and happens that, it's just okay, how much weirder can it get? So, the other night, college basketball game between the University of Alabama and the University of Minnesota. University of Alabama has their entire bench ejected for coming onto the court during a fight, which leaves them with 5 players. Just the 5 players that were on the court are all that's left from Alabama. But it gets even better. Then a player for Alabama fouls out. And then, a couple minutes later, a player from Alabama gets injured. So they literally finished the game with 3 players on the court. They finished the game 3 on 5.
And this really happened?
This really happened. And here's the kicker. They only lost by 5 points. They almost won the game with 3 players.
Wow.
Yeah. All the bench got ejected. For, like I said, there's a rule in college basketball that if you come onto the court from the bench during a fight, you're automatically ejected from the game. So the entire bench came out on the court for a fight. So they were automatically ejected. And then, like I said, another player for Alabama got his 5th foul, and another player got hurt. So they had to finish the game with 3 players.
That's crazy. Like, how?
3 on 5. I still don't even know, like, how. And by the way,
They must have been tired.
No, seriously, they were gassed, and yet they still only lost by 5 points. Part of that was the fact that Minnesota was like shooting threes, and, like, holding the ball till the very last second every possession, because basically they didn't really have to really go quickly, because Alabama was sort of playing back defensively and wasn't really guarding the ball.
I really want to see this game now.
I'll have to show you a video of it. Yeah, no, I'll definitely have to show you footage. But
oh man,
but yeah, it was nuts. It was like, I had never honestly seen anything like it. And before you ask, Coach, yes, it is legal to finish a game with 3 players. You have to start a game with 5 players. But you can play with as few players as possible. The only thing is, if you get down to 1 player, they can call a forfeit if, like, the referees believe that both teams don't have an equal opportunity to, like, win the game. But yeah, they played for about 10, 11 minutes with 3 players. And like I said, almost won the game. So,
wow.
You go, Alabama. Or those 3, at least those 3 players. Yeah. I hope that those 3 players start the rest of the season, because they, like, they deserve like a medal for playing with just the 3 of them.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's all. That's what I have.
Wow.
Yeah. So. Now that I've completely weirded us all out, you got anything for us this week? Or amazed
us.
Or amazed us. You got anything for us this week?
Oh, I feel like I did, but I might have to pass in this one. I'm sorry, guys. I've had a long day. You can probably tell in the way I talk and everything. I'm just really out of it right now.
Well, you're gathering yourself. I do have to say one other thing. Shout out actually to the Wellesley girls Powder Puff team, who, for the first time in 7 years, actually beat Needham in the Powder Puff game. They beat them 20-0. So
that's pretty good.
Both trophies, the Powder Puff Trophy and the Thanksgiving game trophy, both will reside in Wellesley this year, which is really cool.
Nice.
So, and by the way, hope everybody out there had a happy Thanksgiving, no matter where you did or where you went, what you did. Hope that you had a really nice time and, got to spend time with family and friends and eat good food and just, watch good football or whatever you choose to do on Thanksgiving Day. Hope you had a really nice holiday. And now more holidays are coming up. Christmas just around the corner. Woo!
Yeah, you got about a month away, and
yeah.
Tis the season.
It is the season.
So now you're going to start hearing all that music on Magic 106.7, right?
Or 105.1.
Yeah. So you have to listen to David Allen Boucher.
We could do a On a Couch Talking Sports Christmas song special.
We could do that. Well, last year we did
we sing.
Last year I think it was...
I think people want to see that.
No, I'm just kidding. We don't have to. Yeah, well, Robbie sings Rudolph. I'll
Rudolph
take
the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All right, I'm gonna call it.
Already be on the voice.
Yeah, I know, right?
Pretty good.
It's magical. But anyway, that's gonna do it before we completely just go off the rails here. Now that we haven't done so already. That's gonna do it for another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. Happy belated Thanksgiving, everybody. For Kyle, I'm Robbie. We'll see you next time from the couch. Goodbye.